was coming, and they were pouring all the chemical and factory waste there. But now Jamuna started to flow again in a natural way. Like Jamuna water is so clean, and the whole atmosphere has become so clean. The other day I got a report from China that after a long, long time, they started to see the stars in the sky because the factories have closed, stopped pouring all the chemical waste and things in the atmosphere. And it is also giving us an opportunity to focus and enhance our spiritual activities. Like everyone is locked down. So now what to do? Utilize the time in the best possible way. And so I am giving 4 to 5 classes every day. Like today, I think I have to give about 5 classes. And so for me also, I stopped traveling. That makes a big difference. And I'm seeing what a big difference it makes when you don't travel. The body feels so much relaxed actually. And when you travel, the traveling is so much in the mode of passion, especially, flying from one country to another country. It's very stressful and passionate. And I hope, I won't say I hope, I'm confident that all of you are taking proper precaution. It's a difficult time. It's a very difficult time for the world. Like the whole world has been affected by this coronavirus. It is an extremely dangerous virus. And so far they didn't find any antidote for that. They didn't find any vaccine for that. And that's what is causing so much anxiety and fear. So the only way we can take precaution is by social distancing ourselves. Stay at home, don't go out. The governments, different governments are making that arrangement. In India, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi had been very, very, very proactive. And that's why we could actually, that's why the country has been able to ward off this danger until now. And it's actually quite surprising that considering the population of India, considering the lack of medical care, considering the hygiene, the concept of hygiene and cleanliness in this country, the way it has been prevented from spreading that badly. It's quite surprising. On the other hand, we can see that America, which is the most advanced country, there it has been worst hit. Most of the European countries, Italy, Spain, even Switzerland, a beautiful country, known for its cleanliness and other such care. Germany, UK, they have been so badly hit. So ultimately we know that nothing happens by chance or by accident. It is due to our karmic reactions. in this material nature, Krishna made this arrangement. Everything happens according to the guna and karma, according to our own actions that creates or generates reactions in different modes of the material nature. So that is the ultimate cause behind everything in this material nature. We wanted to become independent, and Krishna gave us the ability to become independent. But along with comes this consideration of karmic reactions, and everything is in this material nature is happening according to this arrangement, karmic reactions. Krishna said the autopilot here, and the demigods are actually monitoring. They're monitoring, like they're just seeing our actions, and accordingly the reactions that we are generating, and they're making arrangements for us to get those results of our actions. And they're also neutral. They're just neutrally making all these arrangements. Karmana daiva netrena jantar deho bhavattai. Karmana, according to our karma, daiva netrena, the divine eyes, that means the eyes of the demigods, are giving living entities their respective bodies and subjecting them to different reactions. Sometimes comes enjoyment and sometimes comes suffering. And the ultimate consideration is that this material nature is a place of suffering. It is actually a place of suffering. Everyone here is meant to suffer. There is some enjoyment, but that enjoyment is actually when the suffering condition is reduced, we call it happiness. In this material nature, the predominating factor is actually suffering condition. And when the suffering condition is averted, we call it happiness. And we have intelligence to stay away from suffering as much as possible. Anyway, so that's how everyone is going through different experiences in the material nature. And that is our situation here. Therefore, when something happens, we have to recognize it's happening due to some reason. And as devotees, when we see things from the perspective of the scriptures, from Shastra Chakshu, then we know why things are happening in certain way. We see when we see from the perspective of the scriptures, from the light of the scriptures, then we see that people are acting in such sinful way. And how can we expect that there won't be any reaction? So many animals are being slaughtered, especially so many cows are being slaughtered. And will that go unnoticed? No. The reactions must be there. And that is what is happening today. We are killing the animals, and now the animals are reacting. They came up with a weapon that completely devastated our all this technical advancement. We are, in one hand, we had been claiming that we achieved so much, human beings are at the peak of their achievements, and now just one little virus completely brought our civilization to a standstill. we don't know how to deal with it. And especially when countries like America face this kind of difficulty, it really makes us wonder, did we really make any advancement? Some arrangements we have made, but how fragile that arrangement is. But we are in a fortunate position because we have Krishna consciousness, we have Krishna, we have Prabhupada's teachings, and we are in a safe situation. We know even if the situation becomes extremely difficult, extremely drastic, we will chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gave us such a simple formula. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So that is where, that is the source of our happiness. And we know, Prabhupada himself actually showed it, that at the time of crisis, we will simply take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Like when Calcutta was about to be bombed by the Japanese during the Second World War, and everyone was evacuating from the city. The Japan was going to bomb Calcutta because Calcutta was the big center of British military power there. There was a Fort William, and that was a big military headquarters. And they wanted to bomb that place. So obviously Calcutta city would have been affected. So people were actually evacuating from the city. One of Prabhupada's godbrothers who was staying with Srila Prabhupada was about to leave and go to Navadvip. And so when he asked Prabhupada whether he was going to go, then Prabhupada responded, no, I'm going to stay here. And he asked, but you know the place is going to be bombed. Then Prabhupada's reaction was that, yes, I will go out chanting the holy name of the Lord in Sankirtan. And if the bomb drops, and if I die chanting the holy name of the Lord, I'll go back to Godhead. And if Krishna wants, due to the chanting of the holy name, he may counteract the situation. And that's what happened. Prabhupada went out in a Harinam. He went out with just one or two boys, and then many other people also joined. And then we see that Japan didn't bomb Calcutta. No one knows what was the reason why Japan didn't bomb when they were so prepared to do that. And we know the reason, because Prabhupada chanted the holy name in Harinam Sankirtan, and that averted that plan of the Japanese. So this is our ultimate shelter. This is our ultimate shelter. I'm actually sending out a message, sort of, the title of that is Sure Cure for Coronavirus. It's going out today in the YouTube. I will send the link to Madhupati Prabhu, and so he may send it out to you all. I'll also send it to Purna Chandra. And so you may watch it. Anyway, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm just giving the statistics. Although Iskcon has 600 centers, more than 600 centers and temples around the world, and we have more than 1 million members. Practically very few devotees of Iskcon has been affected. You know what, I don't know whether you know about the statistics. Like for example, Italy, which was so badly hit, no one got affected. None of our devotees. America, so badly hit, ravaged by this onslaught. Just one devotee. That also in New York. And he got cured. Spain, no one. Switzerland, 3, all recovered. Germany, 2 recovered. UK, 97 devotees and congregation members have been affected. 5 passed away. 1 is in the hospital. And the rest, 91 out of 97 got cured. India, none. So naturally the question arises, how come? How come India is in such a safe situation in spite of this terrible attack that we are facing, the pandemic worldwide? And I'm pointing out because we pray to the Lord. Our whole life is actually centered around prayers to the Lord. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prayer to the Lord. And it is due to the prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the devotees have been protected. And please pray. That's what I'm appealing to everyone. Pray to the Lord. Doesn't matter what is your religious background is, whatever your language is, just pray to Him. Because He is one without a second, and all religions are actually showing the way to approach Him. So just, and anyway, so it's about a 6-minute video clip. And let us see, like, please consider that. And if you feel that it needs to be spread out, then please do that. And I think this is a good opportunity to preach to the people. Remind them, first we are reminding them how to get out of this situation. We are hit with a crisis and how to overcome this crisis. And then we will show them what is the cause of this crisis. It is good that the world is waking up, especially in countries like America. Veganism has become very, very popular. And that's a good sign because they are realizing that killing animal is not right. Once I was having a morning japa walk in some park in America, and I saw on the road, on the tar road with white color, it has been painted. We are vegans. We don't eat animals. So some sort of awareness is happening, and this especially, I'm sure, is going to make people think. And we have to remind them. They do not know why things like that happen. They do not know what is the karmic principles. They may be familiar with the word karma, but they are not aware of what it actually means. What karma actually means. It's simple action, reaction. As you sow, so shall you reap. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Who can deny that? Actually, people in this world need to be educated. That way, the world population has become educated, but not with this spiritual awareness or the wisdom of the spiritual reality. That wisdom needs to be distributed now. We all are fortunate that we found it, we got it, and we accepted it by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So now let us distribute it to others. And anyway, so it's a very critical situation, but we also must remember that it is not unusual. You know, world goes through calamities like that. And in a way, it's fortunate. We are actually fortunate that this calamity didn't come in the form of a war. If it came in the form of a war, then we can't even imagine the extent of damage that it would have caused. I don't know whether you're aware that after the atom bomb was tested in Alamo, and Otto Hahn was asked, who was masterminded that bomb, when he was asked how the, oh no, it was actually after the explosion of the atom bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was tested in Alamo, and then America dropped this bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So then he was asked how the Third World War will be fought, because now they saw the power of this weapon. And his response was, I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but I know how the fourth one will be fought. It would be fought with sticks and spears, meaning the whole human civilization will be destroyed. It'll go back to the primitive age, and when people will fight with sticks and spears. So that is how devastating the Third World War will be like, if it ever happens. So that's why in that way we can see that it was actually Krishna's mercy that yes, the world has come to a situation when the whole world has been shaken up. There, I'm seeing like how the national leaders are concerned. They're seeing that what a critical situation it is. And no one really knows what would be the ultimate number of casualties. Yesterday I was listening to Donald Trump, and he was saying that in America, the casualty probably will be about 100,000. And when he says 100,000, anyway, even if it is 100,000, like what a massive damage. But that way, actually 100,000 is not really that bad. You know, last year, how many youth died from one drug? Again, that drug was developed in China, and it was smuggled into America through the Mexicans. And you know how many died out of that drug in 1 year? 72,000 just from one drug. They don't take note of that because it doesn't really affect their structure so much. But this has affected their structure. That's why they are so concerned. Everything stopped. So when just out of one drug, 72,000 youth died, then from this pandemic, we can't even really imagine how many people will die eventually. And I was looking at the looking at the number again, I mean, it was the statistics that was given. Like from that one drug, I forgot the name of the drug, and 72,000 youth died. Whereas in the Vietnam War, for 6 years of battle in Vietnam, 46,000 American youth died. So what America lost in the Vietnam War over a period of 6 years, this one drug casualty is so much more. So this is the thing, this is the situation of the world. Like they're acting in such a reckless way. They're killing cows, they're indulging in intoxication, they're indulging in massive prostitution, they're indulging in gambling. So how can we expect that there won't be any reaction? And the world has to be prepared for a very, very drastic situation as a result of those sinful reactions. And fortunately, by Krishna's mercy, we got Krishna consciousness, and somehow, at least internally, we feel safe because we know why things are happening and we know how to counteract that. And more on top of everything, we have found the way to conquer death simply by recognizing that this body is simply an external covering of the soul, and death means changing of the body. The soul, that is my real identity, that my real self, the soul never dies. So why should we be worried? At least theoretically we understood that. And I hope in due course of time, when the time comes, we'll be able to practically apply that understanding. So this is why this kind of situation actually compels us to become more serious about our spiritual commitment, our involvement in Krishna consciousness. This is a time that we have to become absolutely serious. That death is not just some concept. Death is a reality. And everyone is susceptible to death. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrittur dhruvam janma mritasya. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrittur. One who is born is bound to die. Dhruva means absolute truth. Whoever is born is bound to die. So now the thing is, consideration is that what is birth, what is death? Birth is the acceptance of a new body. Death is the depart from the old body. Departure from the old body. Now who accepts the body and who lives the body? The soul. And that is me. So body's appearance and disappearance and duration is just a process that we are subjected to. But I am an eternal individual. I'll never die. And the goal of my life, the ultimate goal, is to reach the spiritual world at the lotus feet of Krishna. And the difficulties in the material nature will come and go. We can't avoid that. Sometimes we'll enjoy, sometimes we'll suffer. And the thing is, this situation is nothing compared to some situations in the past. Like I'm actually giving a class on Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is actually Krishna's instructions to Uddhava. At a time when Krishna is going to withdraw his pastimes. And while withdrawing his pastimes, before withdrawing his pastimes, he wanted to take all the jadus or send all the jadus back to Godhead. And also he is going to make Dwarka to disappear. So can you imagine what kind of situation it was? Just if we stand at Uddhav's shoes, if we try to see things from Uddhav's perspective, you know, he is going to lose every single member of his family. I say he is going to lose because Krishna wanted him to stay on. So Uddhava is going to stay on. And he is going to see that every single member of his family is going to die. The city that he had been living for so many years, just going to sink in the ocean. Krishna told Uddhava that in 7 days, the city of Dwarka will be lost, will disappear in the ocean. Therefore, Krishna advised all the Jadus to leave Dwarka and go to Prabhash Tirtha. Because Prabhash Tirtha is a holy place. So they already received the curse of the Brahmanas, curse of the sages. So all inauspiciousness is going to come. So let's go to the holy place to counteract that inauspiciousness. So Krishna advised the Jadus to go to Prabhash. And now Uddhava knew that Krishna himself also is going to leave. So he requested Krishna to take him with him. Krishna said, no, you stay on. Because Krishna wanted Uddhava to do some more work for him. That is to impart the transcendental knowledge to the people who Krishna himself could not instruct, like the sages of Badarikashram, headed by Naranarayan. And he wanted Uddhava to go to Badarikashram and instruct the sages there. And also he wanted this knowledge to come to us. And that happened through Uddhava. Because of Uddhava, we actually got this transcendental knowledge. We have to recognize how important this knowledge is that Krishna gave to Uddhava. Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And Bhagavad Gita, as Prabhupada pointed out, it's the beginner's course. Then Srimad Bhagavatam is the advanced course. And out of the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, in 11th canto, Krishna is instructing Uddhava. Like Bhagavatam is the body of Krishna. Bhagavatam has 12 cantos indicating or depicting 12 different parts of Krishna's body. Canto 1, 2, Krishna's lotus feet. Canto 3, 4, Krishna's thighs. 5th canto, Krishna's belly. 6th canto, Krishna's chest. 7th and 8th canto, Krishna's arms. 9th canto, Krishna's neck. 10th canto, Krishna's smiling lotus face. So the most important part of the body in order to identify him is his face. So in 10th canto, we are actually getting to know Krishna. And it has been in Bhagavatam, which is a Mahapuran, and Mahapuran has 10 symptoms. And the ultimate symptom is, as Prabhupada said, samambonam, which also means the ultimate shelter. So ultimate shelter, who is the ultimate shelter? Krishna. He is the shelter of everything. Even he is the shelter of the demigods. Even he is the shelter of the incarnations. All the incarnations are coming from him. So, and after that, the 11th canto. The 11th canto, first 5 chapters deal with Navajogendras, 9 Jogendras, best of the yogis, of course, Bhakti yogis. They're instructing Maharaj Nimi, a great devotee of Krishna. Such a great devotee that Krishna himself went to see him in Videha, his capital. Krishna himself went to see him. So that shows what an exalted devotee Nimi was. And these 9 Jogendras are instructing Maharaj Nimi. And what an amazing instructions full of spiritual wisdom. And then the 6th chapter, the first 5 chapters of 11th canto, Nimi Navajogendra Sambad. And the 6th canto, Brahma along with the demigods came to tell Krishna that the reason why you came upon our request, that mission has been accomplished. Dharma has been established on this planet. All the demons have been killed. So now you can go back to Godhead. Now you can go back to your own abode. And so that is how 6th chapter is setting the scene or introducing us to the arrangement that now Krishna is going to leave. And before departing from this planet, he decided to instruct Uddhava. So we have some reason behind that, like Uddhava Gita was told at a time when the world was in a very, very critical situation. And today also we are facing a very critical situation. And at a time like this, we become more open to receive the transcendental wisdom, the spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, we have seen, like, yes, we have accepted Krishna consciousness, but we are so much caught up with so many different things that we don't really find the time to be properly engaged in Krishna consciousness. And even if we want to, we don't have the time, because most of us are working, and it's so stressful, working in a different commercial enterprise. When they engage us, they want to extract every single penny that they're paying us. So there's no time. But now Krishna has made the arrangement for the time, and we are able to sit down and think and reflect on what we have, the life that we have accepted, and the way we must utilize this opportunity. And so that's why this is a time when we need to contemplate on the purpose of our involvement. Why did we join Iskcon? What is Srila Prabhupada offering us through his books? What all these senior devotees have to tell us? Let's listen to them carefully. So this is how, as a devotee, we are in a position to take care of any situation, no matter how relishable it may be or how distressful it may be. We are prepared. Rather, we are prepared. We feel that distressful situation is more desirable. Like an advanced devotee feels that way, like Queen Kunti praying to Krishna, that give us more and more distress, so that we can take shelter of you. When there were difficulties, we were so close to you internally. But now the good time is coming. And I'm afraid that in this good time, we may forget you. So that is the mood of a devotee. Good time means enjoyment when the situation is joyful, or creating positive arrangements for our enjoyment. Then we tend to become engrossed, involved in sense gratification. And we tend to forget Krishna. Therefore, it is very important that we recognize what is the ultimate goal of our life and how we can achieve the goal, and let that be the desirable course of action for us. Anukullasya sankalpa. Whatever is favorable to Krishna consciousness, we accept that. Our consideration is not, our consideration should not be determined by the degree of our sense gratification or loss of our sense gratification. It should be decided, or it should be measured by how close we can come to Krishna, how we can get close to Krishna. Let that be the main consideration of our involvement, main consideration of our existence. Thank you all very much. I wish all of you all the best. Make very nice advancement in Krishna consciousness and experience the joy of Krishna consciousness. Compared to the joy that Krishna consciousness offers us, compared to that, and the highest material involvement or enjoyment is like a perverted reflection. It's like a drop of water when we are dying of thirst. What will a drop of water do when you're dying of thirst? We need a pool of water. At least we need a bottle of water. Just a drop of water is not going to give us any, is not going to quench our thirst. Therefore, let's follow this process, which will not only give us a bottle of water or a pond of water, pool of water, but it will give us an ocean of ecstasy, an ocean. And in that ocean, we can drown ourselves. So, Shaghosham nimajjantam. That's what Krishna does. Shaghosham means his devotees. Nimajjantam. He drowns his devotees in a pool of ecstasy. Ananda kunde. Ananda kunde shaghosham nimajjantam. So when we have the opportunity to approach an ocean of ecstasy, why should we just opt for just a drop of sense gratification? Or sense gratification that is just a drop of that ocean of ecstasy. So thank you all very much. Please become very, very serious in your spiritual life. And I wish you all the best. If anybody has any question, please feel free to ask. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
I had a quick question. Let me.
Yeah. What happened? Yes, Madhupati Prabhu.
I'm sorry, Maharaj, I was on mute. I was mentioning that our entire movement is based on congregational Sankirtan, congregational gathering. And practically right now, we cannot gather, and I mean, nearby future, I don't envision us gathering. How the joy of Krishna consciousness be felt in a situation where we are, okay, means we are able to hear virtual classes, but in a more lockdown situation.
Well, thank you, Madhupati Prabhu. Like the response will be, let's try to make the best out of a bad bargain.
Yeah.
Let's make the best out of a bad bargain. What to do? We got into this situation. The world has brought to this due to the sinful activities that the world is indulging all these years. And so we have come to this situation, and let's see what Krishna wants. Who knows? Maybe through this, Krishna is going to create a massive, inundation of Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Let's see. And let's take advantage of that. And congregation means so many devotees, right? So so many of us are there. Like as I was saying, we have more than 1 million devotees around the world. And everyone is actually equipped with that transcendental knowledge. And everyone practically of this, more than 1 million individuals, are in a position to become spiritual masters and impart the transcendental knowledge to the people around them. So Prabhupada has come to fulfill Mahaprabhu's prediction that this movement is going to spread all over the world. And I think this is the arrangement. We may not be able to get together like that for some time, but who knows, maybe, now the opportunity is coming when everyone will go out and motivate, hundreds of devotees, thousands of devotees individually. Because this knowledge is the ultimate solace for any distressful situation that a living entity can be in. Is it?
Yeah.
Answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other question? I'm so happy to see so many families are together here. So nice to see that you all are there as a family. And that's how it should be. Like, it's not your family, it's Krishna's family. Krishna put you all together to achieve something collectively. And involve your children. Like yesterday, I was talking to somebody and he was telling me, he's from America, he's from Seattle actually. He was telling me that he has a son and a daughter, that all these years, in spite of his persuasion, he could not get them to chant. But now they're chanting, both of them chanting 16 rounds a day. So these are the advantages, and these are all happening because the devotees are coming together as a family. Maybe I'll send you one very beautiful write-up that one devotee in Vrindavan, she's an Australian, late Mataji, she wrote and she sent it to me, and that heading is, Mama, is coronavirus Krishna? Or something to that effect. A little girl is asking her mother, and she's saying so many things, like she's so much enjoying. She was telling that, like it's so nice that I got both of you together to be with. Because all this while, both of you are going out and I was away, so I never get to see you. Papa used to come so late at night and when I was fast asleep, and I never get to see him. And now it's so nice that we all are together. So these are the good things that are happening, like the families are together, we are working together, we are sharing our pleasures and pains together. Yeah, Krishna consciousness begins at home. Charity begins at home. Spiritual activities begins at home. Thank you.
Anybody else? I see Parama Karuna Nitai Prabhu had a question, has raised his hand. Question. Parama Karuna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, that's Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, please say my obeisances.
I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you. It's a very inspiring class.
Thank you.
Guru Maharaj, I have a question. Is there a difference between offenses versus obstruction to chanting the holy names?
What do you mean by obstruction?
Like, for example, like one of the obstructions could be like we chant like a robot without any kind of emotional feelings. That doesn't really help, does it?
Okay. Yeah, that is again not an obstruction, but it can be obstruction, but it is also an offense. It's an inattentive chanting is an offense. And that offense will cause the obstruction. The cause of our obstruction is actually offense. Because the holy, so like consider, the holy name is not pleased with you, the way you are behaving. Holy name is a person. Holy name is Krishna. So if you are behaving in such a way that the holy name is upset with you, so will the holy name bestow his favor unto you?
No.
So that is the thing, like that's why it's very important that we chant offenselessly. And one of the, this has been taken for granted, that the chanting has to be attentive. That's why, this inattentive chanting hasn't been included in the 10 offenses. And that's why it's added at the end. It's also an offense to chant inattentively. Because, it's naturally taken for granted that when you're chanting, the chanting has to be attentive. Like when you're cooking, you have to be attentive, right? So similarly, when we are chanting, we have to be attentive.
Also,
and the way to become attentive, and the way to become attentive while chanting is by listening. The holy name is Krishna in the form of sound. And how you receive sound? You receive sound through your ears, through here. Yes. Krishna does? Yeah.
Also, Guru Maharaj, I read somewhere, cannot remember, but it says that devotees, they don't really aspire to attain Krishna, but rather they aspire to attain Krishna Prem. So what is the difference?
I think the presentation is not really proper, according to my understanding. The thing is that what is actually the understanding is that a devotee doesn't want liberation, even to go back to Godhead and be with Krishna. A devotee wants service to Krishna. If Diyamanang, this verse goes like this, Saruppa, Shamippa, Shalappa, Shashti. These are the 4 kinds of positive liberation. Diyamanang na grinhanti bina mat sevanang jana. Krishna is actually telling that even if it is offered, these 4 kinds of liberations, even if they are offered to my devotee, unless bina mat sevanang, meaning if it is without service to me, a devotee doesn't want to accept it. Because a devotee, his business is to serve because he's a servant. A servant's business is to serve the master. Therefore, a devotee simply wants to serve Krishna. He doesn't want anything else. He doesn't want sense gratification. Rather, he wants to give pleasure to Krishna's senses. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Devotional service means to give pleasure to the master of the senses, lords of the senses, with his own senses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Haribol. Is there any other? Yes. Haribol, Gitamrita.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class, Guru Maharaj. There was a question that came to my mind just now. During social distancing, sometimes I feel bad. We meet devotees, but still we can't really go out and wish them or pay our respects to them. In that case, is that an offense, Guru Maharaj, when somebody comes to drop something or pick something from our place? Should we go greet them, or should we just abide by the social distancing norms?
Well, if somebody comes to your doorstep, and you can greet them. There's no harm. Maintaining, some, as they say, like at least 1 meter distance should be there.
Yes.
Like it's not that you just, turn your face and go away and somebody comes to give something to you at home, right? So it's not like that, like take precaution, but don't be totally unsocial.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any other question? Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Thank you.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya.
Hare Krishna.
Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravana Prachari. Nirvishesha Shrila. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Oh yeah. Hare
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh,
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
I just remembered, Paramakarna, he had a question.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, this is Sureshwar Sham Maharaj.
Opurna Chandra.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Purna Chandra.
Yeah, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for a wonderful lecture and giving so much clarity on current situation as well as what should be, our plan to handle it. Actually, Prempada has a question, Guru Maharaj, so she wanted to answer.
Haribol, Prempada.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Jai
Shri Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, my question was like for current situation, is it fair to blame only non-devotees, or is it we are equally devotees are responsible for the situation now?
Yes, very good question. Yeah, it's like Prabhupada, when we were enjoying in a situation when they were enjoying through their sinful activities, right? And today, when the reactions are coming, so along with them, we have to be prepared to suffer, right? We can't blame. Yes, I mean, we don't blame them. We just remind them. That is our. We are not saying that, well, you did this and that's why this is happening, right? We are rather telling them, look, this is happening because this has been done. And along with you, we are also suffering. And in your time of distress, we sympathize with you. We are not being heartless and just blaming you and, not kind of taking any responsibility ourselves. Like at a time, this is actually a time a devotee has to show his or her compassion towards other living entities. What is a devotee's business? Devotee's business is to be sympathetic, right? Show, love is displayed in the form of feelings, and that feeling is sympathy. When somebody is suffering, yes, our heart also should feel aggrieved, and tears should also come to our eyes when we see, no matter who he is. Even at the time of distress of our enemy, we will shed our tears and ask him, please tell me what can I do for you. That should be our attitude. And then only they'll recognize that we are actually genuine. Today, they don't recognize us because they don't know who we are. And this is a time when we can show who we actually are. We are not here just to enjoy with you at the time of your good time. We are here to be with you even at the time of your distress. Rather, I'll prefer to be with you at the time of your distress than at the time of your enjoyment. Don't we prefer to go at the funeral than to a wedding? Right? As a devotee, we prefer to go to the funeral than to the wedding, because at the time of wedding, they're enjoying, they're not prepared to listen to us. But when they're in a distressful situation, someone dear one died, and they're grieving and mourning in the funeral, then they'll be more open to listen to us. And the thing is, our attitude should be like, my heart aches seeing your suffering condition.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Hari Bol. How are you, Sarojini?
Fine.
I'm so happy to see you.
I am also so happy to see you after a long time.
Yes. You want to say something? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Jagannath.
Haribo. Thank you very much for your class. You just mentioned taking precautions, right? We're going out and such. Can you just say something? Early in the class, you talked about Prabhupada in Calcutta, and he just went out on Harinam, right?
Yeah.
So, and I understand that faith, but I always think that I always remember that it takes the two fingers, right? Krishna's mercy, but our endeavor, right?
Yeah.
So where to draw that line? I mean, it's not that we should just go out and do Harinam now, right? If we go out, we should go out with a face mask on, for example.
Yes, good question, Jagannath. Like it will depend, to what extent we are prepared. Because you see, say for example, there's a war, right? And not that every citizen goes to the war, but the soldiers, defying the fear of death, they go to fight the enemy. So among our devotees, there has to be some soldier-like devotees. And it is happening also now. Like devotees are going out disregarding the fear of contamination or contacting the disease. They're going out distributing prasad, right? In India, we are distributing, 600,000 plates of prasad every day. And devotees are going out and they're risking, the contagion. So I will say they're the soldiers, like a soldier is not afraid of dying. So similarly, Krishna conscious soldiers will not, defying the fear of death, they will go out and distribute the holy name, right? We are not going out in Harinam now because the governments are, they are imposing the close down, but the thing is that if the things are open, then yes, we'll go out in Harinam. And we won't think, when we go out in Harinam, we are not thinking, just as a soldier doesn't think that he is going to die. A soldier thinks that he is going to kill the enemy. He is going to defeat the enemy. Similarly, we go out not with the fear that we may die. We go out in Harinam with a conviction that this chanting of the holy name is going to purify the atmosphere. That's the best way to counteract this contagion, counteract the pandemic. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to go out. Like those who are worried, like those who have responsibilities, and like they don't need to go out. But like say for us, sannyasi, I'm as a sannyasi, what do I have to lose, right? Why should I be afraid of death? Why should I be afraid of contagion of coronavirus?
Because we don't want to lose you.
Well,
you don't have anything to lose, but we have you to lose.
But in a similar note, I'll say that, at that time also, we could have lost Srila Prabhupada, but what would have happened if we lost Prabhupada at that time when he went out? But, Krishna saved Prabhupada, and that's why Prabhupada came and we got Krishna consciousness. So let's see what Krishna wants, like, as I'm saying that, as a soldier doesn't think that he's going to die, but he's not afraid of death. He knows that he may die, but still defying the fear of death, he goes out to fight with the enemy.
Thank you. To paraphrase a BBT book title, mediocre question, perfect answer.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Parana Karuna Nitai Prabhuji.
How are you?
Good Maharaj, how are you? Good to see you.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Paramakarna Prabhu, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for the nice class. Maharaj, I have a question. You compare, there's a comparison, right, Maharaj? You mentioned in the class that each canto is referred to a different limb of the Supreme Lord. And my question is, we can understand Canto 1 and 2 refer to the lotus feet. Canto 3 and 4 refer to the thighs. Like, how do we practically understand what does it exactly mean, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, well, this is how it has been described. But like, you see, as Prabhupada pointed out, when we are approaching Krishna, we should start from his lotus feet. And then gradually come to the 10th canto, which is Krishna's lotus face. Not jump to Krishna's lotus face without understanding who Krishna is. Like through these cantos, we are getting to know Krishna more and more, right? Just as before even approaching Srimad Bhagavatam, we are approaching Bhagavad Gita, and we are recognizing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And then after that understanding, we are approaching him, but from where? Not directly to the face, not directly to 10th canto. Like our acharyas have, criticized that kind of attitude, directly jumping to 10th canto as the sahajiyas do, right? Because then they do not get the proper understanding and just get into Krishna's intimate dealings with the gopis of Vrindavan. And, they end up, developing a gross misconception about Krishna. And that's how they destroy their spiritual life. Therefore, gradually you rise up, lotus feet to thigh, the abdomen, chest, arms, neck, and then Krishna's lotus face. So gradually this canto after canto is preparing us to approach Krishna, the Krishna of Vrindavan and his most intimate pastimes.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, one request. Maharaj, we really enjoyed the class in the morning, our morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj, for giving the class 2 times for us today. Maharaj, one request is, if possible on weekend, please have one class, Maharaj, for us on the Zoom, same session.
Yeah.
Saturday or
Sure,
Sunday.
I'll do. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
And
yes, we are in communication with Madhupati Prabhu and Purnachandra Prabhu that on 25th and 26th, as I was supposed to give a seminar, we'll conduct a seminar in Central New Jersey. Meaning, from here, on behalf of Central New Jersey, we'll conduct a seminar. And actually, Madhupati Prabhu was suggesting just like the seminar schedule, like, 3 classes, like involving the whole day. That won't be possible because I have many other classes to give. But I was suggesting to Purnachandra Prabhu that maybe what we can do is instead of 2 days, I can give 1 hour class for 4 days and cover the topic of Chaitanya, teachings of Lord Chaitanya.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
You want to say something? Purnachandra?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah. So, yes, Guru Maharaj, me and Madhupati Prabhu, we discussed. That is a good idea, Guru Maharaj. So, yeah, maybe we can discuss offline, Guru Maharaj, which 4 days you wanted to do. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you want to do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Okay. Okay. Yes. And Sojana, Radhika, I didn't see you because you are covered behind Rajagopal. I was very happy to see you. So I heard your voice, but I couldn't really identify you.
Maharaj, thank you so much for the wonderful class, Guru Maharaj. It is so wonderful seeing you, and we can't wait to hear you again, 25th, 26th seminar. Really miss that, Guru Maharaj. We so wish it happened here.
Hare Krishna. So I hope all of you are well. Yes, Hargol, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. So Guru Maharaj, I was thinking, since we are not going out, book distribution is practically stopped. And I was meditating, this is the time, maybe non-Indian community, even Indian community also needs Srila Prabhupada's small books. So any suggestion how we can think of doing something?
You see, like, I would say maybe we are not able to do book distribution now, but consider, so many hundreds of millions of books have gone out, right? And now let us make them, kind of persuade them to read the books and cultivate them, those who have got the books, and make them read the books. Books have gone out, enough books have gone out. Now let them read the books and become devotees. Books have gone out, but did the books really take its effect? Not to the extent that it should have. So let's not just be, just concerned only about book distribution. Like, let us meditate on what's the purpose of book distribution. The purpose of book distribution is to make them into devotees. Right? So let's try to do that. Cultivate them and make them devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop now. Thank you. And yes, I have another class I will give next week also. Maybe we can do it at the same time. It's early morning for us and evening for you. Is 8 o'clock good enough, Madhupati Prabhu or Purnachandra? 8 o'clock your time is good enough?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Madhupati Prabhu?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, next Sunday also, we'll have another class.
Well, Sunday after, Maharaj, right? 26th.
Next weekend. Next Sunday also I'll give one.
April 19th.
Yeah, April Today is 13th, yeah, April, yeah, 12th, 19th, April 19th. Is it all right?
Yeah, I had Nityananda Prabhu scheduled from 7 to 8, but yeah, you can give from 8 to 9. That's fine, Maharaj.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.